episode of the new and improved KARD News. This week we'll take a look at all the new changes, new faces, and what's going on at Boone Central. Our first story is about the return to school. We'll go to Madison now.
This year has been filled with so much uncertainty. Each day brings new challenges that affect us and our community directly. How each of us deal with these changes can be different, but in the end, we're all in this together. I interviewed some staff members and fellow students to understand how they've dealt with this pandemic in and outside of school.
How I prepared for school, a lot more preparation with online stuff, coming up with those platforms that are good for me, and make sure the kids all understand what it is. Still work in progress, since we really don't know what to do and how we're supposed to do it exactly, but I think I know we're more prepared than we were in March.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
How did coronavirus affect how you prepared for school?
Well, I had to prepare by making sure I had a mask and definitely hand sanitizer in my bag just to be safe. So I could play sports and stuff like that. So
what are you most looking forward to this school year despite the challenges that come with it?
Well, the fact that we can still play is number one in my book. I'm really excited about that because for me, teaching and coaching go intertwined. A lot of my styles, a lot of the things that I do come from both. Being back, being around people, and that's my big thing.
What are you most looking forward to this school year despite the changes we're facing?
Probably color day because last year I was really confused and had no idea what was going on. I hope we can have it though.
Yeah, me too, I agree. What are you most looking forward to this school year despite the challenges?
Seeing all of you guys, there's no greater sound in the school than all the kids got here. It was like the greatest day ever. In March when everybody left, it was a bad day. And then when everybody showed up, it was an awesome day.
What's one piece of advice you have for fellow staff or students that may be struggling to get through the pandemic?
Well, just think about the things I think that we are lucky to have. The fact that we can be here and kids in some of the city schools can't even go to school. So I think we should just consider the things that are good.
Be grateful.
Be grateful and make the best of it.
Perfect. What's one piece of advice you'd give to one of your fellow students that are struggling with the pandemic?
We're all in the same boat. It'll hopefully be over soon. Everything should hopefully go back to normal eventually. They have a ton of people working on a vaccine, and I hope it ends soon. It should.
I agree.
Yeah.
I hope so. All right. Thank you, Graham.
Yeah.
Thanks, Madison. Now we go to Ashley, who has interviewed the new teachers around the school.
Many things have changed this year due to COVID-19, but the different rules in Cardinal time aren't the only new thing here at Boone Central. We are proud to welcome two new teachers, Mrs. Weezy and Miss Smith. I had the pleasure of interviewing both of these new staff members to find out more about them and what it was like for them to start at a new school.
Were you nervous for the first day?
Yeah, I was nervous for the first day. I was nervous and excited. Nervous because it was my first teaching job and I really wanted to do well, but also excited to finally work with students.
So what made you want to start teaching?
I initially wanted to start teaching because I'm really passionate about family and consumer sciences and want all students to be able to have that opportunity to learn about the content. I did spend 2 years at the University of Florida doing research, and I got really bored with that and discovered that teaching is definitely where I'm meant to be, working with students every day.
What is your favorite part about working here at Boone Central?
My favorite part so far? Well, there's really great students, and the staff is also really great to work with, and they've been super supportive in helping me figure out my first year of teaching.
So what classes do you teach?
I teach the Health Sciences career pathway, so this semester that's Health Science 1 and Health Science 3. And then the Education pathway, so Intro to Ed, and then Foods and Nutrition and Human Development, and then I also am the Internship Supervisor.
Cool. Are you in charge of any activities this year?
Yes, I am the FCCLA Advisor, and I will be an Assistant Speech Coach come that season.
If you were famous, what would you be famous for and why?
This sounds really nerdy. I would love to be famous in the field of education for doing something super wonderful for students. So coming up with something in that sense.
Can you tell us one fun fact about yourself?
Yeah, my fun fact is always that I have an identical twin sister who also teaches family and consumer sciences. So
And lastly, Pepsi or Coke?
definitely Coke. Definitely Coke.
What was the most exciting part about starting here at Boone Central?
I think the most exciting part is getting to meet the students from the community that I grew up in. I have such a special place in my heart for Boone Central and Albion, and so it's just great to be back.
So what other schools have you taught at?
I have taught at one other school, Riverside High School, just down the road.
So how long have you been teaching?
This is my 3rd year.
Are there any big differences between your old school and Boone Central?
My old school is a lot smaller. I had like 10 kids in my classes at one time at the most, so sometimes just a couple. So the Boone Central definitely is a lot larger school.
How did you prepare to start at a new school?
Oh, well, I got into the classroom here and I talked to the other English teachers to see what the curriculum here is like and what their general routine is, and then I kind of just started planning.
What classes do you teach?
I teach sophomore and junior English and English 11 and then speech 1.
What classes did you teach at your old school?
In my old school, I taught sophomore English and junior English, and then I taught choir, high school choir, and a class called individual music, and I taught creative writing, and I taught small group performance.
Are you in charge of any activities this year?
This year, I am directing the One Act with Jenny Gray.
Do you have any hidden talents and can we see them?
Oh my, you might see them at some point. I don't know. I do enjoy singing. That's probably my best talent.
Thank you, Ashlyn. This summer has been a strange one, and Julia has interviewed a few students about their experiences.
Summer is a season that most students look forward to every year. No more homework, no more projects, and no more school. But this past summer looked a little different this year. As we were moving from spring to summer, most of us were stuck at home, staying safe from the pandemic. This week, I got to talk to students about how they spent their past summer. So Rachel, what events or plans changed this past summer because of COVID-19?
So a lot of things that we had planned were just a little bit different and not necessarily like changed, I would say. But the biggest difference I noticed is that we didn't get to go on a family vacation anywhere this year. But don't worry, we've got one planned for next summer, so I'm excited and stay tuned for that.
So how did you transition from being in quarantine for 2.5 months to summer?
Well, in my opinion, there wasn't really a clear transition between quarantine and summer. It kind of all blended together because we were still really cautious in the beginning and then again towards school, so I don't think there was a defining moment. But it's okay because we still had a lot of fun in between, and it was a unique experience that we will definitely not forget.
So did you think these changes were dramatic?
In my opinion, it really wasn't too bad. I mean, we had a lot of fun doing things by ourselves. It just made for a more interesting kind of summer, for sure.
Did you happen to pick up any new habits or new hobbies this past summer?
Actually, I did, and it was amazing. I learned how to golf this summer. I live right next to a golf course, yet I never learned how to play. So this summer I decided, you know what, we're going to try something new, and I picked up a golf club, and now I'm on the high school team, and it is amazing.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thank you.
So what events or plans changed this past summer because of COVID-19?
I'd say the biggest change was probably my summer softball season being delayed a lot and being pushed back, and tournaments were limited and games, so that was probably the biggest change.
And how did you transition from being in quarantine for almost 2.5 months to summer?
So right as school got out, I was probably in quarantine for only 2 weeks because I still had to work at the grocery store and stuff, so that kept me busy for a while, but it really started to change when the DHMs got lifted and stuff like that, and I could go out with friends and family and do more things.
So would you say that these changes were drastic this summer, because of
COVID-19 and coronavirus like? It definitely was like interesting to like see all the changes and how it affected like this summer from like last summer, but it was definitely manageable and easy to get through.
So I have to know, did you do any new habits or new hobbies? Did you pick up anything new?
I'd say probably reading. I used to read a lot, but like since like high school I never read at all because it was never mandatory. I read a couple of books this summer, so that was nice to finally read again.
Well, that was really exciting. Thank you, Madison.
Thank you, Julia.
So how did you transition from being in quarantine for like 2.5 months to summer?
I mean, it was kind of just getting back into old habits. I mean, we had to learn to adapt to being by ourselves and being in our houses for over 2 months, and then I feel like it was just jump back into things like it was before. I don't really think it was that hard to adjust back to normal life. I feel like we were all so ready for it to go back to normal that it wasn't hard to go back to normal. You know what I mean?
And did these change this past summer? Were they pretty drastic because of COVID? Like a lot of them were getting canceled, I know. So like with your life, did you think it was pretty drastic or?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like with state speech being canceled and state FFA, it was definitely kind of like, it was really sad and it was unusual. Like I would have never even anticipated this 2 years ago or something like that. But I mean, honestly, it was a shocker at first, but you kind of just got used to it and you kind of just had to realize it was out of your control. And so, I mean, it wasn't that bad.
And did you go on any vacations or trips with your friends or family or?
Yeah, actually, later on during the summer, like in July, we went to Missouri, like Branson, Missouri, Table Rock Lake, just because there wasn't a lot of people there. It was kind of like a socially distanced vacation, if you want to call it. And then we went up to Minneapolis to see my uncle, which, I mean, you think it's a hot spot for COVID, but they live in a suburb and we were just not around that many people anyway, so yeah.
Well, that sounds very nice. Thank you, Gage.
You're welcome.
At Boone Central, there are many clubs and activities you can join. Tanner has the latest news on all the upcoming activities.
Hi, I'm Tanner Bald. You know, the school year has started, and so have quite a few clubs. FFA, FCCLA, FBLA, Teammates, Book Club, Breakfast Club, and even NHS. Remember, just because most of these clubs have started does not mean that you can't join. So get involved. If you're interested in joining SAD, the kickoff is this Sunday at Fuller Park. Wonder why you should join? Well, here's what some students and teachers have to say.
Here I have with me Graham Kaland. Graham is part of the SAD advisory team, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. Graham, what is SAD all about?
Well, SAD stands for Students Against Disruptive Decisions. It's basically just a club about teaching kids, well, having kids do the right thing and helping people that aren't doing the right thing. We do fun activities, we help around the town sometimes, and it's just a lot of fun.
Why do you think people should join SAD?
Because a lot of people are in it, and it's very fun with all the activities we do. Like this year, the kickoff is water balloon fight. Last year we had bowling and movie nights.
Okay. What is your favorite part about SAD?
Probably just the people in it. There's so many people that you can talk to and hang out with and make new friends.
All right. Final question: if someone would want to join SAD, who should they talk to? Who's your sponsor?
Mrs. Grape, Jenny Grape. She is pretty much the runner of SAD. She schedules the activities and then has the students sign up to help. That's basically it.
All right. Well, thank you, Graham.
Yes.
Here I have with me Mr. Supp, and Mr. Supp is the sponsor for FBLA. Mr. Supp, what is FBLA all about?
Even though Future Business Leaders is the name, there are aspects of business in FBLA. It's more about building leadership skills, communication skills, and teamwork skills to give our students the best opportunity to succeed.
If you join FBLA, what are some things you're going to do?
So our plan this year, and hopefully COVID cooperates and we get to do everything we want to do. We have some guest speakers in mind. We also have some business tours that we'd like to go on this year, as well as our state leadership conference. We didn't get to go last year. Hopefully this year we get to go and compete.
Why do you think people should join FBLA?
I think they should join because it offers opportunity to learn and practice some great life skills. get to work with some great people and inside the chapter and outside the chapter, and compete and have fun.
Okay, well, I think that's about it. Thank you, Mr. Sepp.
You got it.
So there you have it. Here at Boone Central, there's quite a few clubs. I'm sure you can find one that suits you.
Thanks, Tanner. Now for our final segment, we have sports with Waylon.
This week, our Boone Central fall sports teams kicked off their seasons. Softball started off the season with a jamboree on the 18th against Central City. The Cardinals had a huge lead, but in the 5th inning, Central City started to hit the ball and scored 8 runs. Central City ended up winning. The final score was 15-13. On Monday the 24th, they played Highway 91. Boone Central softball lost 9-0. Their next game is a triangular at home on Thursday, August 27th. Girls varsity golf had their first invite on August 20th at O'Neill High School. Rachel Melander shot 127 and placed 28th. Emma Benson and Lauren Coates both scored 110 and tied for 15th. Taylor Byerman placed 11th with a score of 106, and Abby Broderson scored 77 and placed first. Girls varsity golf won the invite with a team score of 403. Their next meet is on Friday, August 28th at Fullerton. Now we go over to Lauren for an interview with Abby Broderson.
How has the season gone so far?
The season has gone extremely well, especially for our incoming freshmen and our new members this year. We got the chance to go to O'Neill for our first tournament. We won. We had 4 medalists, which was great.
And has COVID affected your season or your team in any way?
But yes, it has affected us. It's a little different. We have to take less people.
How do you think the rest of the season will pan out?
I am so excited for the rest of the season. We have a great chance of going to state and even winning it. We are going to be winning more tournaments, and it's just going to be a great experience for the new members.
Any upcoming tournaments?
We are in Fullerton for a duel on Friday, and we'll have the Boone Central invite soon.
Also on August 20th, our Boone Central football team had their scrimmage. Their first regular season game is tonight on Friday, August 28th at home against Norfolk Catholic. The 2019 Class C1 State Girls Cross Country Champions are hard at work preparing for this upcoming season. The boys are also working hard, striving for the possible title this season. Their first meet is September 4th at the Albion Country Club. Girls volleyball started off their season with a jamboree on August 24th at Ewing. In their first game, they lost to Ewing, but they won their second game against Riverside. Boone Central Cheer and the Rubies led the Fall Sports Rally on Friday, August 21st. Both groups put on an amazing performance last Friday afternoon.
This year has been very uncertain, but it has taught all of us to never take life's simple moments for granted. Stay focused, stay positive, and most importantly, stay healthy. On behalf of the entire KARD production team, we are so glad to have you back in school.